Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching. My name is Yadira. Today I do have a Louis Vuitton review and comparison. So I'm going to be talking about the Speedy Bandoulière, or also Speedy B, in the 25 and in the 30 size. And I do also happen to have these in two different materials. I'm hoping you'll get a little bit of both worlds between a review and comparison on the sizes in general, and then also too in the material. If you are new, welcome. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. Let's get into some basics. I'm going to start with the smallest, and that is the Speedy B in the 25 size. This is the one I have in the Empreinte. I have it in a wine color. This is the giant monogram. As you may know, the Empreinte doesn't just come in the giant, but it also does come on the regular print. I got this in August of 2023. Remember, was it like the last day of August or the first day of September? But I got it late last summer in Italy. So it is 25 centimeters going this way, and it is about 21 centimeters in height, and in width it is about 13.5 centimeters. Now if you want the references in inches, I'm going to go based on the Louis Vuitton website because they do have them in inches on the website. According to Louis Vuitton, in length it is 9.8 inches, in height it is 7.5 inches, and in width it is 5.9 inches. So this Speedy 25, being the Bandoulière version, it does have side hooks, and you'll also have another one on this side. Handles are in a smooth calfskin. The strap for this bag in particular is also in that smooth calfskin. This is the strap, really quickly, just your traditional Louis Vuitton clasp on one end, and then we have like your buckle style to do the adjustments. This one in particular comes with 5 different adjustments that you can do, and then the strap to secure it and be able to wear it as a long shoulder, a crossbody, or just like if you want to have it hanging in general. This strap also does have this little slip right here to secure the tab in case you're like on the shorter side and you have a lot of strap just hanging. You can secure the axis with a little band, and then it ends with the clasp on the other side. This is what the strap looks like on the sides, hooked onto the bag. You can just leave it down or carry it just like this. It's totally up to you. The top does come with double zippers, so you do have your 2 different pulls, and it doesn't just come all the way to the end, but it also does come down 5 centimeters, or that is 2 inches. So actually, even though I'm not like moving or standing, I'm just sitting, I found it hard to open it with like one hand both ways, so I kind of had to sit it down and do it. But anyways, inside I just have air paper because this is pretty much what I use to stuff my bags when I'm not using them. I also have these silica packets, so I have that inside, and then I also have the little lock and key, and then I have the little materials card that comes with it, and I'm pretty sure I have another card inside of the dust bag, which I have that in my closet because I do keep all of my handbags in my closet. This features 2 pockets, one being a zippered closure pocket, and then the other one is just a slip pocket. I find that both of these, if you can see the pocket right there, I know the interior does match the exterior, so it's a little bit dark in here. The inside of the pockets, they're about the same size. So the pocket that does not have a zipper closure, it's just a little slip that is about 7 centimeters in opening, and that equates to about 18 centimeters. Just for reference, I have an iPhone 14 Pro, and that fits in that pocket very nicely. So here's my phone. So now coming onto the zippered pocket, the measurement for that one is, it is 6 inches, which is about 17 centimeters, and that is probably because the zipper is in the way, but I find that to be, you know, just as comfortable. And if you're wondering if the phone fits in there, it does. You just kind of have to maneuver it to go around the zipper, you know, tilt it, put it in there, in that sort of situation. So the iPhone 14 Pro does also fit in the zippered pocket, just in case you're wondering. Another feature of the bag is that it does have the Louis Vuitton stamp in the inside, so there is that right there. And then last feature of the handbag is the handle drop. This one being the 25 size, it does have a smaller drop, and that is about 3.5 inches, 8.5 to 9 centimeters. And that is actually pretty comfortable for me to slip on my arm. And I am wearing an Apple Watch, and I'm just as comfortable slipping it on. I don't have any complication. It's just fine. And I didn't really wear this during the winter, but I mean, I am wearing a jacket now, so I guess I could bring down my sleeve. So if you were to be wearing a jacket and you want to use your Speedy 25, It is still fine. Of course, there's a little bit less wiggle room just because of the cuff kind of hanging down a little bit lower than my actual wrist. That may just be getting caught with the zipper in your transition of putting it inside if your bag is open. If your bag is closed, then it should be just a smooth slip on and go. I'm going to show you very quickly up close all the hardware and leather detail on my bag, and you'll also be able to tell the kind of wear that I've put on this bag in just the short amount of time that I've had it. Again, that is under 1 year old. So let's go through all of that. While I was showing you, you could probably tell the little stamp on the side. It does say Louis Vuitton Paris. My particular stamp is not very profound, so you can barely see it. I mean, I can see it obviously, but because this side is like the pebble grain without the actual imprint of the LV flower and logo, it kind of hides with the pebbling that is on this side of the leather. Just kind of know, I mean, my imprint is there. It's just a little bit subtle. I don't know if this is a fact for all Speedies in the leather version or it's just mine. Again, this one I did get it from Rome, and I mean, it's from a Louis Vuitton store. So that's all I can really say about it. The stamp inside also does say Louis Vuitton Paris, made in France. On the outside, it doesn't say the made in. It just has the little registered circle with the Louis Vuitton and Paris. So here is what that looks like. Again, very faint, and it does blend in with the little pebbling right here on the side, and then on the opposite end there is nothing. It's just the solid piece of leather with a pebble detail. Now moving on to the Speedy B in the 30 size. This is the one that I have in canvas, and I particularly have it in the Damier Ebene. So this being the checkered caramel with dark brown print. The only like LV logos that it does have is just subtle. On this bag in particular, it has one, and then 10 squares later it has another one. So that is just your LV Paris little square there. That is what the Damier Ebene print is. For the measurements, this one would be 30 centimeters going across. It'll be 18 centimeters wide and about 25 centimeters going in height. For the size references in inches, I'm gonna go based on what the Louis Vuitton website has, and that'll be 11.8 inches in length, 6.7 inches in width, 8.3 inches in height. On the sides, it does have the little hooks, just similar to the other one. You'll see the second one right here, except the only difference is that on this side detail, this one actually does have a leather strip going down through the entire height of the side of the bag. And same on this side. And then my leather pull right here on top of the little ring, it does come all the way to the seam of the top of the bag. This one does also have the double zip. It's just that this one's just across, whereas a 25 kind of gives you a little bit more give, that 2 inches on each side. There is my opening, and one of the details that the canvas Speedies have is that on the, not this side, but on one of the sides, if you pull it a little bit over, you will be able to see the number of size that the Speedy is. Now, I'm not quite sure that you need to do that. Like maybe if you had a lot of Speedies that you couldn't tell the size difference, you could do a little quick check to know which one it is. Honestly, between the 25 and the 30, they are significantly different to where you're gonna know which one is which within your collection. I did want to let you know that it does have the size reference on the side. Okay, so it's very faint and you almost have to pull it, like exaggerating, but it's like in there. On the Speedy 30 with my jacket like this, for the winter time, if you're wondering, it will be of course smoother to go in. It is too comfortable to slip it in with a jacket on. Now the only thing is that I guess because this is in the shiny, even though I wouldn't think that it makes much of a difference compared to this one, but this is a more smoother leather compared to this treated right here. So it could be like, for example, just like the screen of my watch, or like my watch being kind of like with a rubber band that is getting caught on this glossiness. But that's just one of the differences that I'm noting just between the two handbags whenever you are trying to slip it on, grab it and go. All right, so going inside the bag, similar to my 25, I do have air paper in here. And then I also have a little silica gel packet. And then I have these straps. Now I do have a third piece because the Speedy Bandoulière 30 comes in 3 different pieces. This middle piece, if you can tell, my bag is from 2018. This middle piece looks brand new. So here is the little buckle on there. All right, so that is the middle piece, and this is one of the ends, and you'll be able to tell that I do use the strap because there is a little bit of discoloration or tarnish on the buckle. So there's that, and then it does have a little slit right there and the clasp on the other end. Now I will say the actual clasp, it is losing some color, but I use it a lot. And my 2 different ends, they're of course already aging. So one of them is a little bit more yellow than the other. But nonetheless, this is the exact strap that the bag came with. And the other end is just literally the clasp and the rest of the strip. This one does have 3 holes right there. Other piece also has 3 holes right there. The middle piece, even though I've never really used it, I can't swap it because this one has the clasp on this end, whereas this one just has the little buckle. Now I could probably take it in for repair to switch it, but I mean, I'm totally fine with continuing to use the piece that comes with the clasp by default. So my hardware on this particular bag is different. So the one on my actual strap is a shiny hardware, whereas all the hardware in my bag is pretty much in a matte finish. Like for example, this is my clasp, it is shiny. This one, it has a dull look to it now. It almost looks matte, but it's actually a little bit shinier than even like the zipper pull. But there is a lot of discoloration in my actual ring right here. And you can see the difference in color perfectly right there. And then my zipper color. The actual zipper itself, it's pretty much matte. I was gonna say it's probably shiny, but if you compare it with my other one, which I guess is not even a fair comparison in hardwares because this one is new compared to this bag. I believe they are now doing, or going forward in 2024, they are doing all these Speedies in the same hardware tone. I believe that is going to be in the shiny finish versus having a matte sort of finish for the Speedies. But for me, I got this bag in Paris in 2018, and so the hardware, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me at all. This bag for me is a little bit more relaxed, and I don't mind one bit the color in the actual hardware because no one's really looking at your bag in detail like that, like, oh wow, why does it look like that? And I am going to show you exactly what I was kind of referencing. My little rivets right here, very early on, whenever I got the bag, they started kind of browning or getting that little, I don't know, I think it's from like the strap hitting it all the time that it's changing color, or it does look brown right here. But it could just be just natural oxidation, and pretty much all of them are like that except for one. One of them is kind of holding up a little bit better than the others, but here's one. And the actual handle and glazing, again, my bag is old and I use this bag a lot and I don't really mind it, but I do have some glazing that is kind of peeling off, and that is in the interior of the handle. If you can see right in here. I'm not even sure if you saw it, but it's right here. On the other strap, it's pretty much in better condition, or newer condition, I would say. And then it does have the little creases, which just with the natural bending or curvature of the actual handle itself, it's inevitable with either this kind of coated leather, or if you're doing the smooth calfskin leather like this one. This one is a little bit more smoother. But definitely I am seeing some wear in the glazing on the inside, and honestly that's just from like my bracelets. Whenever I go in and out like this, I'm just peeling it eventually. I do mostly wear this bag as a top handle when I am using it, so it kind of comes with the territory. Now, talking about wear, I'm gonna bring it up close to kind of show you what it looks like on the outside before we go into the interior of this particular handbag. So similar to the other Speedy, mine does have a Louis Vuitton stamping on the side. Mine in particular does say everything on there. So mine says Louis Vuitton Paris made in France. So that stamp is right there. I only have these two Speedies, so I can't really say the wear that the Azure or the monogram canvas will have. But in the Damier Ebene, yes, it is more weatherproof compared to the other canvases. You can get this particular bag in, but it shows wear more easily. Well, I kind of want to be careful with that because if you do have the natural vachetta, obviously that is going to oxidize and change with just time. So that is essentially wear, but this could probably be very dirty and you can't tell because it is brown. But anyways, the most important thing that I really wanted to call out on the Damier Ebene, I feel a lot of people don't really talk about whenever it comes to Damier Ebene, is the wear that these pieces can have in the corners. And I have a Neverfull in this and it's the same story there. So that is why I know it's a Damier Ebene thing. I do have another Damier Ebene bag that is probably about the same size, a little bit bigger to be honest, and that one's perfectly fine. It is much older too, so I don't know if it's just like the quality difference or what, but again, it's not like I got this yesterday, so keep that in mind. But my rubbing in the corners is turning black, or it is of a black color. I don't know if that is the undertone of the actual bag, like what the Damier Ebene is printed on, but just FYI, if you're debating and you're like, oh yeah, this one's weatherproof, so that's why I'm gonna go with that one, but I really want the other one. Just there's pros and cons to every canvas. Here is the corner in more detail, and then here is the other corner right there. So I guess you can see it from the side. You can definitely see it if you're looking at the particular corners, but if you're looking at the bag itself, you're not, like you see it right here, you're not really gonna see what's going on in the corners. I mean, have you ever seen a handbag's corners when it's out and about? Probably not. Like, they're probably walking fast. You are probably, you know, you have a beeline of a list of where you gotta go, so you're not even really thinking about people's corners, right? But that is something that happens. What else can I say about, so actually the treated leather itself, which if you did not know, canvas is not leather. The actual leather pieces would be the actual little piping trim. You see it right here. It goes all the way around this actual strip right here, and then also the little tabs here and the handle. That's pretty much all the leather that it has on the outside. On the inside, it is this beautiful red interior textile lining, and you have a little bit of more leather right in here, a little piece with a little Z-ring hook right here, but mine does have a pocket on the side with a zipper. And I say it like that because at some point it was just the pocket without the zipper. So just FYI, if you are looking in the pre-owned market and you see one with the zipper versus one without the zipper, it doesn't mean they're not real. It's just the one without the zipper is older than one with the zipper. But anyways, the zipper on mine in particular matches the zipper that is on the outside, and on the inside of the actual pocket, it is the same material. So it'll be your actual textile lining. Mine in particular, because I did get it in 2018, I do have a date code right here on my newest 2023 Speedy. I do not have a date code on this bag. Or not that I've looked for one, because they just started doing the microchipping in 2021, 2022. So I just assume like I'm not in the hunt for, ooh, what's the code? But yeah, that is what is behind the pockets. Just in case you're wondering, that is pretty much the interior of this bag. There is no additional slip pocket the way the Speedy 25 Bandoulière in the Empreinte has. So one difference right off the back compared to the interior of the bags, again, the leather version versus the canvas. And let's see what is the kind of content capacity that it has on both. Obviously you're gonna know that this one has less capacity than this one, being two different sizes and measurements altogether, but I'm going to show you exactly how I pack these. So let's go. In my Neverfull, I do have my toiletry pouch in the 26 size that is housing most of my handbag, but whenever I use my Speedies, I do like to pare it down onto my cosmetic pouch in the GM size. So I'm just gonna do that very quickly because I am using my Neverfull. I'm not using this one right now. Again, I do have a little silica packet in there and just like the little textile cards. I try to keep this inside of every single one of my bags. Very quickly in here, Tatcha blotting paper. I have a Lippy by Charlotte Tilbury, a pen. I have a lip glow by Dior, another pen just in case the other one decides to stop writing. I got Advil. I have a little mini lotion. I have a mini Charlotte Tilbury powder brush. I have another Lippy. This is by Dior. I have my car keys in here. I have my little hand sanitizer here. Then I have another pen. I have Tic Tacs. Basically, this is gonna be my cosmetic pouch slash junk or if in case sort of essentials. So I have my Shout to Go. I have another little mini lotion. This is by Peter Thomas Roth. I have another hand cream, which this will be the third one now. And then I have my Chanel little mirror. I have it in the little Premier Dame. It's the coral one, and that basically is capping out my entire little toiletry bag. I do have a little sample, and this is my wall paint sample. In case you're wondering what color it is by Behr NYPD. I think like some of my Christmas videos might be featuring the wall. I will link that down below in case you're wondering, but that's what that is. I always carry it pretty much everywhere. Then I have a little Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes Mascara, but that is pretty much my entire Toiletry Pouch 26 inside of my Cosmetic Pouch GM. So I'm just gonna give it a little sip, and it is actually very full. First of all, I don't really close my bag when it's inside of my bag, but I'm gonna sip it just because. So kind of feel weird about sipping it because I don't really sip this pouch. Anyways, that is what I primarily have in my Neverfull. So now I'm gonna put this back over there. Here is my Speedy B in the 25 size. Again, I do use this as a cosmetic pouch. This is pretty much the entire length of the bag, if you see right there. To put this in there, I down on an angle and then straighten the bag out. But here's the cosmetic pouch in the GM size inside of the bag. It fits fine and comfortably. Now, if this is the reason why I don't really sip this one, but like if I do have it just open, I have my little compartment there per se, my little stuff, and I can still access the side and even the other side and even like the two pockets that it comes with. I am gonna sip it just because I don't really need to get anything out of there, but just know whenever I do use this bag, I have this open most of the time. Again, iPhone 14 Pro. And then I didn't even realize that I had 3 different pairs of sunnies inside of my Neverfull. I usually just stick this in there. I don't really put in like a little pouch. Sometimes I have a little slip pouch, but most of the time my sunglasses come in like the hard bulky cases that I don't really find practical. For now, I just kind of grab and go. So I am just gonna grab these little pair by Kate Spade. These are extremely old and have a lot of fingerprints, and I gotta clean them just for the sake of having a pair of sunnies in there. I'm gonna put that in the side right there. An important thing is my current wallet. This is the Key Clay. Just gonna slip that right in here on the side, the little pockets. And then my 6-ring key holder, and this pretty much lives inside of my handbag. Anyways, the 6-ring key holder, and I'm just going to put it in there. My car keys, I'm gonna put them in the pockets just because they're usually inside of my wallet, so I know that if I'm in my car and my car starts, I have both my wallet and my key. Because there's extra room and I am just being real and honest, I sometimes carry a wood sample. I am in the hunt for a coffee table, and this is the exact wood sample of our breakfast table, which is adjacent to our living room. So I carry this everywhere just to kind of match the wood tones. I know it's totally random and something that literally nobody carries, but here is my little wood sample right in there. A standard size bottle of water. This is 16.9 fluid ounces. So I'm just going to put that right in there. Now it is very heavy because of that particular bottle. It's full, and not so much because of the wood sample. The wood sample literally is like a feather, or maybe like 10 feathers. If you're wondering, the water bottle does fit standing. You probably will not be able to close it. Let me see. Yeah, you can't close it. It's very tight. But it fits standing. like if you need to. And that is the side profile of the bag. Now mine, I don't know if it's because I kept my particular bag inside of the box a little bit longer, like whenever we actually got back from Rome, but it does have this little indentation right here. If not, I'm pretty sure it would look like this. I do need to get a base shaper just to kind of train this piece of leather, or could probably train it some way else. Because this particular bag has 2 different pockets on the inside, I don't feel like a base shaper is needed. This one, it does really hold this structure well. Of course, we are talking about this right now, but also the interior is microfiber lining, which can easily be cleaned with either a microfiber cloth or just your lint roller, or you can also just take tape and pick up any debris that is in there. I haven't gotten any stains on bags that have microfiber lining within my collection. I haven't had to learn how troublesome that might be to clean, but just kind of FYI on where I stand with a base shaper or an organizer for the Speedy 25. I do kind of want one just to kind of train this back to looking like this. So back to the bag, if you want to get a little bit more spacing, like you're not going to be taking your water in and out, if you maneuver it a little bit, you are able to close it much nicer to where the zipper is not distorted. But of course, my little bag has that. We'll definitely be getting a big shaper soon. Okay, so that is one side, and then here is the other side profile view of the bag. A little bit of like emptiness right in here where you see that. So whenever you're carrying it, literally, like you can't even tell. It looks perfect. It actually looks like I have a base shaper of some kind inside of the bag. Okay, so now let's empty the bag, the wood, the phone, sunglasses, key holder, the wallet, the water, and same with the way that I put it in. Just kind of be careful with the corners and it comes out. So that is the GM Cosmetic Pouch. Wait, what am I missing? My keys. So I do want to note, like if you had a smaller cosmetic pouch or something else that you keep your makeup and essentials in that is smaller than this size, obviously you can fit just a little bit more inside of the Speedy 25, but that's typically how I carry my Speedy 25 when I am using it, so that's how I packed it here. But just note that you can obviously fit different things inside of your bag. So my keys are gonna go in there. Even though it is smaller than the actual bag lengthwise, I'm still gonna do the same of putting it in on an angle, watching the corners, bringing it all the way down and sitting it inside of the bag. My wood sample for furniture hunting, my wallets, my 6-ring key holder, my sunnies. Now, because I do have a D-ring here, I'm just gonna slip that in there and push it off to the wall, just like that. My cell phone, because obviously that is important. I'm gonna put it right here where it is creating that space. And then I'm gonna put the water inside. So I'm just gonna put it in just anywhere. And this is shorter than the actual bag, so you can stand it up. So if you have your bag really packed to where this is not gonna fall, you can obviously stand it. If you have an organizer in here, I know some of them come with like little cup holders, so you can probably be fine there, but just know that on the 30 it will sip. If you do want to stand your bottle of water, this is what the bag looks like with everything that was inside of the Speedy 25. Now I obviously do have space for more things, so I brought out just a little planner. This is, I think, like a 5x7. Yep, so that is 5 and an 8. So a 5x8, I'm just gonna slip it in there. Also my Kindle. I actually got this because I scratched my Kindle on a vacation. So I'm like, okay, I really need a sleeve. I'm gonna link it down below in case you are interested in it. It is very nice and slim profile. And I'm gonna put that right in here. All right, so that is perfect. A small little cardigan fits in here. Like if you do want to fold one, it will fit in there just nicely. There's a lot of space. Now with this one, because there is more height and the opening is quite nicely, like it's canvas and it's more flexible than the actual leather. So you can leave your bag just like this, but I would recommend to put all the, like for example, the Kindle and the planner, as well as my little wood sample that no one would actually really carry with them on a day-to-day. Have it laying down instead of being upright. So I'm gonna do that really quickly. There's that, and now you have even more space for an actual cardigan if you want to put that in there. So it's actually all about how you maneuver whatever it is that you're gonna put in here. And because I put the Kindle and the planner and that wood sample laying down, it's gonna give my bag more like if I have a base shaper in there, but obviously I do not. If you do have it the other way, obviously it is going to sag. Whereas right now, they're pretty much acting like a little base shaper right at the bottom. Now, all of this in itself makes the bag really heavy, as with the actual Speedy 25, that is largely the bottle of water being full. Without it, it does make it a little bit lighter, but obviously I pretty much carry whatever I fit inside of the 25 size. So this is pretty much extra, like the little planner. And then my Kindle, I do have my Kindle pretty much on me most of the time. So that would be most of the stuff, and it's not heavy the way it is with these two items in the bag. That is pretty much what you can fit on both of the bags. Of course, you can add in a scarf or a cardigan on either. It just so depends on the other items that you're adding. In the case of the size 25, but on the size 30, all of the junk plus that fits just nicely in here. One of the things between these two, obviously the interiors are different. This is microfiber and this is textile lining, but again, they're two different materials, so that's probably not a good comparison when I'm talking about the actual bag itself. On the materials, because I did kind of say that I was going to mention that, obviously I did take you through the wear of the canvas on my Damier Ebene, but on this one I pretty much don't really have wear on it. Again, it's not that old, so I guess that's a terrible way to say how this actually wears. I think I have gotten like a pen mark, but you can kind of see it. I found it. Okay, there's like a pen mark right around here, like right there, I think. But because it's so dark, and I actually do think it's fading, because I think it was like a profound blue color, I feel like it's fading and it's totally fine. But as far as the corners on this one, they are okay. Your leather could flake or it could scratch, so that is one thing, but some of the actual print can be worn off within time, so that's something else. I was gonna show you the little flake. Okay, so right here, are you gonna see it? You might see like a little pink over here, right in there, like a little dot. So that is pretty much the little flake that I found. Now I do have a little bit of like wear on this particular corner, like if you see right in there, but that could be from like the weight, it being a corner. But there's that. Obviously I gotta fix my little indentation here from whenever I got it, because it is also showing right in here. Like I said, I would definitely be getting a bag organizer for this bag. Coming back to these handbags, I really do love the interior of this bag. It does come with a price difference whenever you are talking about the canvas and in the leather version. I live in the US and I got both of these outside of the country, so I'm not really in tune what the actual Speedy Bandoulière retails for in the US. Now again, not only are these two different materials, but they're two different sizes, and those two factors in themselves will make a price difference. So I'm gonna go with the size 25 first. If you were to get the size 25 in the canvas, that currently retails for 1,820 US dollars. But if you want to go with the same size in the leather, just talking plain simple empreinte like this, 2,710 dollars to get it in the leather, compared to the other one that is 890 US dollars in difference plus tax between the canvas and the leather version on the 25 size bandoulière. Currently on the Louis Vuitton website, the Speedy 25 only exists in the bandoulière version. I don't know if the other one is phased out, or I've heard that it's going to be getting an upgrade or a change of some kind, but if it goes away forever and ever, the Bandoulière version is the only version you can get. If you want to get the Speedy size 30 in canvas, that'll be $1,890 US. So between the 25 and the 30 in the canvas version, that is a $70 price difference with the Bandoulière both. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you want to get the Speedy 30 in a different style, that'll be the classic Speedy. They don't have the Speedy on the Empreinte in the size 30. Now they do have it. If you really do want the size 30 on this Speedy, you're gonna have to look at the pre-owned market, because they used to do the Empreinte Speedy 30s in this sort of monogram as opposed to the giant that my Speedy is in. Reference there, this is the regular monogram and this is the giant monogram. I think they discontinued them in 2019, possibly 2020. I want to say 2019 was like the end. I obviously love this style, otherwise I would not have two. Now these are two different bags because they're in two different materials and two different sizes, so I'm technically not replicating this bag within my collection. Try to clean all of my bags. Now I was better at doing this after each time that I did rotate my bags. Now I don't know, I just kind of like flip it over, dust it out, and take out anything that I see in there. I do have a little bit of staining that if I really wanted to get out, I can certainly get out. That's one plus within this particular textile lining. You can clean it very easily. Now this bag, it's cute, it's petite, it's more like evening size for me compared to this everyday on the go sort of size. But still, like sometimes I'll go in the store and I'll feel a little bit awkward because everyone likes the little super micro bags that your phone doesn't even fit in, and then I'm coming in with this big old thing and people are like, is she walking out of the 1990s, early 2000s? Like, what is she doing? But that's kind of how I feel whenever I even wear my Neverfull nowadays, because it's not like this. It's big, but big bags are coming back, so they kind of always circulates. I personally would not go bigger than the size 30. They do have it in the size 35. They do also have it in a size 40, but I believe in the size 40 it's then classified as luggage. I'm not too sure. That's not a bag that's in my radar. It's not a bag that I'm interested in. So just for an everyday perspective, the size 30 is the biggest I would go. You can overnight this bag if you are compact. It's a good everyday, it's a good student bag. Obviously, whenever I say students, only take it if you're gonna go to one class or if you're gonna go to one test and then go back home. Do not treat this as your backpack, because you are going to have a nightmare. You're probably going to have bruises on your arms. Yes, it does have a strap, but don't do that to the Speedy, because those books can be heavy. And now, even whenever I was in college, like some of the material I could download on an iPad, and I had an iPad to have some of that stuff. But if college is digital to where you have no notebooks, no textbooks, just like either your phone or an iPad, then sure, this can be your college bag. But if you used to use a pencil case, a calculator, you want to take your bottle of water, your notebook, and maybe like a small little book, or I don't know, something like this, carrying all of that on a day-to-day basis, you're not gonna have fun with this one. At least I wouldn't. I don't think I ever used this as a... No, I didn't. By the time I got this, I wasn't in college anymore, so I can just imagine. And the Speedy 25 in the Speedy world, like a good medium size, because they do have the Speedy 20 and they have the Speedy, is it the 18? There is one particular Speedy that's not the nano or the mini, but it's also not the Speedy 20. I'm gonna find out right now because yeah, so there's a Speedy 18 size. It's not a size that I'm interested in. That's why I'm not like, oh yeah. I mean, I obviously know that it comes in these particular sizes, but if I had to go smaller on the Speedy, I would do the Speedy 20. I do not think I would do the Speedy Nano. It's not a bag that I see myself in. Now, I much preferred larger bags, and that's probably why the smallest I would go is a 20. But a lot of people love the Speedy Nano, and the Speedy Nano, actually, if you look on the website currently, most of the offerings for the Speedy is in the Speedy Nano size. Like, they hit it out of the ballpark with that particular size. Unfortunately, it is not something that I am interested in at this point in time. I hear it's a great mom bag. I hear it's a great run on the go. Maybe for my future self, I would be interested, but currently right now, this is a good size for me. Again, if I had to go smaller, I would do a size 20. I don't have to carry this. I can make it work to where this would be perfect. Coming back to show you the modeling shot, I'm gonna do a top handle view without the straps first. Or maybe that is a little bit distracting, so I'm so tempted to do one by one. So let me show you the size 30 on its own. All right, so now size 25. And side note, I'm in love with my jeans. These are by Madewell, just in case you're wondering. If I can find these in particular, or even like the line within Madewell, I'll link it down below. Now I'm gonna show you both of the bags with their long straps, and this is gonna be at the longest setting possible for both. The Speedy 30 does come in 3 pieces, while the Speedy 25 comes in 2 pieces. I'm using the entire strap for both of the bags at the longest setting, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like at the shortest setting, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like at my preferred setting. I am 5'3", and for like weight reference, I am in between like 150 and 153-ish pounds. That is what I will be showing you now. For my Damier Ebene Speedy 30, the strap on its longest setting, meaning the 3 pieces, this one's actually a little bit more. This is 118 centimeters, or about 46.5 inches. So for my 25 size, at the longest setting that the strap can be, the length of it from like end to end is about 45.5 inches, or 115 centimeters. For my Speedy 30, I'm going to do it on the shortest setting using all 3 pieces. That is moving it from here to the first, and then doing the same on this side. Also, my camera says that it's gonna die, so I'm hoping it's recording as we speak. I did adjust the other one to the shortest setting. Now I'm gonna do the same with the size 25. This one does have a little bit of more holes, but I am just gonna do the shortest setting possible on this one, which I believe I use the center one as my, whenever I do use it, but shortest setting on the 25. And just because I think it's beneficial, I am gonna adjust this one to the center, just so that you can see it a little bit more compatible with the size 30. So let's do the middle. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are about the same height now. I don't use this bag crossbody, but on the shortest setting with the 3 pieces, it is a perfect setting for my liking. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so on the 25, I'm going to show it to you with the middle setting. This is my preferred way to have the strap when I am using this bag, and then I will go back to adjust it to the shortest setting. So right now, middle. Putting this in the shortest setting. Okay. Let's do it now. I feel like the shortest setting on the 25 size, like how I have it right now, is too high of a drop crossbody for my liking. What do we think? All right. So this is the way I have my strap whenever I'm using it out and about on the shortest setting, because this is mainly a top handle for me. So this is what that drop will look like. And again, most of the time in my preferred way to use the Speedy is top handle with the strap inside, at least in the 25 size. On the size 30, I am fine with using the strap hanging, but 2 pieces only, and I'm going to show you that now because I like the way it looks on the bag. It almost looks like it's like decor for the bag without having to add like a charm or bandeau or anything to kind of spice it up. Actually, before I do that, let me measure the strap so that you know the length on the shortest setting possible for both. On the Speedy 30, all 3 pieces, shortest setting possible, 42 inches or 116 and a half or 116 centimeters. With the 2 pieces, if you can see on the indentation on my strap, this is the preferred adjustment that I use with this all the time. My preferred way to use the Speedy 30 is with the 2, and this is the longest setting possible on the 2 pieces. Let me go ahead and measure that. All right, so 76 centimeters or 30 inches. I love the way this looks. I do not mind having the strap hanging from my Speedy whenever I am using it on the longest setting. If I do it on the shortest setting, the shortest setting is actually too short for the width of the bag, in my opinion. So the strap doesn't hang under it. It kind of stops, like, you see, it gets trapped here. Again, I don't use it on the shortest setting whenever I have the 2 pieces, just the longest, kind of like I showed you. The only indentation that is on my strap is on the longest possible setting for the 2 pieces, and that is that this bag is what, like 6 years old now, around there. So yeah, this is my preferred way, and it's probably still rubbing on the sides. I hear it rubbing it on the sides, but I like it. I just like it like that. So that probably can tell you why I have that much corner wear on the edges there. Oh, and also, I think I might have mentioned this in the review portion or the chit chat portion, but also here you'll see some black, and then a little bit right there, a little bit more right there, and wow, really? It has very faint, not as much as the other sides. But here we go. Longest setting with the 2 pieces. My preferred way. This setting, I obviously cannot crossbody. Well, you can crossbody technically, but not what I like to do when I have the strap that short. So just as a shoulder bag, while I'm showing this bag to you as a shoulder bag, let me go ahead and do the shortest setting option for the 2 pieces, just in case you are a little bit shorter than me, or you just like your shoulder bags to be a little bit more higher up. This is what the drop is like. Actually, like a very comfortable, regular kind of shoulder bag length. Alright, so shortest setting with the 2 pieces as a shoulder seems about comfortable. I kind of feel like I'm missing out. You can still kind of dig in there and grab everything you want. So still a comfortable setting even for me being 5'3". Okay, so this one obviously only has 2 pieces. It doesn't have 3. Obviously, that's just what I said. But this is the shortest possible setting. So I'm going to put those side by side. Because this is the shortest possible setting, I am only going to keep my 2 pieces on the longest possible setting. So let me show you that. I can't remember if I did measure the shortest possible setting on the size 25, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. About 106 centimeters and 41 3/4 inches. If I am going to have a strap on the size 25, I like it to be in the middle to shortest setting. Middle if I'm going to use it as crossbody, but most of the time it's on the shortest setting for a long shoulder moment. That's pretty much the only way that I wear my Speedies. Like I've mentioned probably a few times now, I like them top handle the best. And whenever it comes, that's the size 25, and whenever it comes to the size 30, I love having it with the 2 straps on the longest setting possible. That is where I'm comfortable with it. I find that it is a great long shoulder sort of height for me, or drop I should say. I just discovered that if I use it on the shortest setting, it's even better as a shoulder bag. But for convenient purposes, whenever I'm out and about, because I like this to hang at this sort of drop, I'm probably not going to use it as a shoulder bag in the shortest setting, just because like I mentioned how the strap kind of, you know, clashes whenever it is a little bit shorter. But that is what both of these bags look like on me. Honestly, I feel both are fantastic. I love the petiteness of the size 25. This is more ladylike, more feminine. I believe the very first size Speedy, so a little bit of historical moment there. So the size 25 being iconic, still in production currently. I love that about the Speedy. I hope that they bring them back in the non-strap version, because I want to say that those are currently not on the website still. So because I don't use my Speedies with the strap as much as I thought that I would, I don't hate that I have the strap, because, you know, a convenience is a convenience that is welcome and always a bonus. But if I had the Speedy without the strap, like if you're considering that one and you are a top handle girly, honestly, I think I would be just as happy with having this as a top handle with no bandoulière option. Now this bag in itself captured my attention whenever the client advisor in Rome pulled it out, because of the color. I didn't even ask to see if they had it on the regular style of Speedy. I was just like, yep, that's what I'm doing. Put all the other beautiful bags away. This is the one I am taking home. I think it was just perfect because we were just gonna get into fall just a few weeks after I got it. So I really do love and enjoy this bag. And I've had so many years with the size 30 that for me, having this in the 25 size, obviously they didn't have it in the 30. It was a good taste tester, if you will, because this is like the only petite style of top handle bag that I have in my collection. I do have the Alma PM, but even that, I feel like it's an in-between size and not exactly this sort of small. And then the next bag that I have that is top handle is the Trevi PM, which I want to say it's a little bit longer than this one. So this is a cute little petite bag, and I think I like it for that reason. Holds a ton, like you might have seen. Obviously your needs compared to mine are different, so whatever you fit in here, it's gonna be different, and you're gonna be able to carry a lot of your essentials and then some with this one. And then with this one, it's literally a black hole. Your essentials fit in here no problem, plus extras and even more extras. Once you start adding onto the bag, whatever it is that you're adding in there, it's gonna contribute to the heaviness of the bag, so do keep that in mind. So because of that, I think the size 25 for me is plenty. I love how I have a size 30. I would not sell it. Well, would I sell you? I don't think so. So I got this one in Paris and this one in Rome. I am happy that I did the Speedy 30 to start with this one, and I have zero regrets. I have one more Speedy 30 in mind that I would want to have, that is in the giant reverse monogram. So that will kind of satisfy my monogram sort of Speedy craving that I might have, but I think this is plenty. I sometimes feel bad for this one because I'm so used to the carrying capacity of this one that I can easily overload this one. It still fits everything. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I wish I could fit this, or I want a bigger size, or let me just swap it for my 30. Like, no, like I do use this and I do enjoy it every single time that I use it. So it's not that it's too small. It's just I'm used to carrying my junk and more with the size 30. And then bags like the Neverfull colorful and the artsy, those are big bags. This carries like that good in between, that good healthy amount of things that you should be carrying with you on an everyday basis anyways. I don't think it's a bad decision to go with the size 25. If you are taller, this might look like a Speedy 20. And in that sense, a Speedy 30 might look more comparable to your size the way the 25 looks on my size. If you are shorter, the size 30 is gonna look like a duffel bag on you. This will probably look like what the Speedy 30 looks on my body frame if you are shorter than me. Obviously, if you are shorter, this one is the way to go. At the max, you probably would like to consider the size Speedy 20. I love both my bags. I 100%, or I should probably say 110% or more, love the fact that I did the size 30 through the Damier Ebene whenever I did back in 2018, because ever since then I haven't had the need to get another Speedy 30. Like it fulfills whatever I need in this particular bag. Obviously the giant monogram, I think it came out in 2019, maybe it came out in 2020. I want to say it was 2019. I don't know. But at that point in time, I was in love with this, in love and obsessed that I was still enjoying it. And that's one of the things that I like to do is make sure you enjoy the bag before you add a whole nother bag, because you can like a bag for a few couple of weeks because you're infatuated by it, you're excited, you just got it, that kind of sort of situation, and then you find out a few weeks or even months down the line that maybe it's not what you hoped for. So for that reason, I decided to not jump into doing the giant reverse monogram one, and I knew it was limited edition, but still this was plenty for me. And then it was on a rain spot free, because it does have black marks, right? And it does get creases, sort of canvas. So I am happy with that one. And even after like that particular bag got discontinued, the giant reverse monogram, I haven't had another Speedy come by where I'm like, oh my God, yes. Like in particularly in the size 30 where I'm like, yes, I need to get that one. Like, no, not really. Now the size 25, this came out in a beautiful cognac color. Oh my goodness. The only reason why I didn't get that color whenever I did see it in store was because all of my bags are pretty much brown. I want a little bit of more color, even black. I've added a black bag this year. That is one of the things that I was just like, no, like everything, like if I'm gonna go grab a handbag, they're all brown, whether it's monogram or it's the Damier Ebene. At the time that came out, I did have one colored bag, which was a navy nacre Pochette Metis. But this one, even though it's still a dark tone, this shade in particular is so beautiful. Yes, it leans a little bit of a chocolatey brown sort of moment if I wanted to, but it's also a deep burgundy, it's also a maroon, it's that wine, it's actually called wine, and it's that deep purple, that auburn. Is auburn the color that I want? I don't know why I'm thinking of like a hair color being a little bit more red, but let's think about it in the purplish sort of family. This color is stunning and it reflects differently according to the lighting, your outfits, possibly even your mood, I don't know, but it's so beautiful the way this color in particular radiates. I love it. I would do a size 25 again. I actually do want to buy another size 25, preferably in a Damier Azur canvas, but if not, maybe in the cognac. Is that really calling my name? It's that tone in particular is so beautiful. They did release a pink opal sort of shade in May or earlier in May that it's calling my attention, but they only had this Speedy in the size 20. So I don't know if I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And plus, because it's a light shade, like denim transfer, obviously I'm wearing denim today, that's pretty much what I live in. I don't know, I do have a bag in mind, but I have no idea. Anyways, I am just rambling at this point. I've said a lot of great things about these bags. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either because they're both great, they're both phenomenal, they're both favorite bags. I mean, I've obviously have had the size 30 for so much longer, and the fact that it's still in my collection is, I love it. This one, not yet 1 year old in my collection, or in general, because this was brand new. I did not get this pre-loved. I didn't get any of these two bags pre-loved, but it might be the color. It might be the leather. It might be the luscious microfiber interior. It might be the way the gold pops against this color, but I love this one. At this moment in time, the size 25 is what I would recommend if you are contemplating on the two. So yes, let me know if you have any questions. I want to thank you so very much for spending a little bit of your day with me, or a lot of it, because I feel like I've been rambling a lot just now, and even the day whenever I did sit down. But thank you so very much for being with me here today, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.